The bell of graduation season tolled, freezing youth in that single moment. To hug my deskmate Su Qingyan openly and legitimately, I brazenly announced a grand scheme to embrace the entire class. But before I could even get to the class monitor, Su Qingyan grabbed the cuff of my school uniform and dragged me away. "You don't need to go through all this trouble just to hug me," she whispered. Before her words faded, I was already sinking into a gentle embrace as warm as the spring sunshine. Su Qingyan leaned close to my ear and murmured, "Now you're not allowed to hug anyone else but me." As the monthly exams approached, I had spent a fortune, a full 20 yuan, to purchase the exclusive question-predicting treasure guide, written by the grade's top student, Su Qingyan, who was revered as the god of studying abroad. Yet the moment the exam papers were handed out, I flipped through them over a dozen times, my heart sinking with 4 characters echoing in my mind, utterly doomed. Not a single question she predicted had appeared. After the exam, I immediately went to confront this fraudulent top student. Su Qingyan laughed with an air of feigned innocence. "Predicting questions is like having a crush. Most of the time, it just doesn't work out." That same evening after school, I witnessed a completely different side of this good girl. She had casually tied her school uniform around her waist, cold light glinting off an ear stud, her eyes reflecting icy blue contact lenses. Arms crossed, bag slung over one shoulder, she leaned lazily against the bus stop sign, looking every bit the delinquent. Acting on impulse, I blurted out, "Give me my money back, and I won't tell a soul." Su Qingyan lifted her eyelids slightly, casting me a cold glance filled with detachment and a chilling distance. It was a far cry from the gentle, quiet, popular good girl at school. If it weren't for the shoe print I'd left on her white sneakers earlier that day, I would have thought I had the wrong person. She calmly brushed off her sleeve. As twilight fell, the soft glow of the street lamp bathed her delicate face, adding a touch of grace. "What?" she chuckled, stepping closer. How strange. With the exact same eyebrows and eyes, her smile now lacked its usual purity, replaced by a hint of allure. Tall and languid in her gait, she radiated an aura that kept people at bay. I swallowed hard, lowering my head instinctively, admitting to myself that I might have raised my voice a bit too much. Su Qingyan snorted. Pathetic. Yet she obediently opened her bag, her slender, beautiful fingers pulling out a crisp 20 yuan bill. My eyes lit up at the sight of money, and I reached out to grab it, but she suddenly stood on her tiptoes, holding the bill high out of reach. I tried to jump for it but lost my balance, crashing headfirst into her arms. "Heh, pretty soft, huh? What's wrong? Are you that eager to throw yourself into your sister's arms, you little perv?" My face instantly flushed crimson. I lowered my head, flustered and unsure where to put my hands. Why did she have to be so improper? A chorus of catcalls erupted behind me. Several girls in uniforms from number 7 high school were watching. They weren't wearing their uniforms properly either, tying them around their waists just like Su Qingyan. They were clearly her crew. "Sister Qingyan, what's going on? Such a cute guy, and you're still willing to extort him?" Su Qingyan stuffed the money into my hand, her tone tinged with inexplicable delight. "It's fine. You should get your eyes checked. I'm the one being extorted here, your old mother." The money in my hand burned hot. The monthly exam results arrived as scheduled, blinding me with a resounding last place. Holding the paper covered in red crosses, I was overwhelmed with regret. I never should have blindly trusted authority, wasting my time on that unreliable guide. If I had spent that time studying, maybe I could have stayed at 5th from the bottom. Seats were reassigned after every monthly exam based on rankings. In the hallway, students lined up from highest to lowest score. The first place got to pick their seat first. Those at the bottom could only pick from whatever was left. Standing at the very end of the line, I thought idly, what a hassle. After picking a seat, I'd have to move all my stuff. If the first place student had indecision, wouldn't they be overwhelmed by all the empty seats? Thinking about it that way, picking last wasn't so bad. After what felt like an eternity, it was finally my turn. The huge classroom had only one empty seat left. The good news was it was my original seat, so I didn't have to move anything. The bad news was my new deskmate was Su Qingyan. "Hello, classmate Lin Ran." Su Qingyan waved cheerfully, her bright smile as constant and sunny as ever. "No way, sis. Is it really necessary to act this dramatic when it's just the two of us?" To confirm my suspicions, I scribbled on a note, "Do you have a twin at home? An identical twin sister or brother with a totally different personality?" Su Qingyan read the note, then buried her face in her desk, her shoulders shaking with silent laughter. Once she finished laughing, she crouched down and crooked a finger at me. I leaned in subconsciously, only to be pulled lower. She moved close to my ear, teasing, "Why are you so obsessed with me bullying you?" Her warm breath tickled my neck, and my whole body tensed up. I sat up straight and wrote back, Hey, I hope Student Su can maintain some decorum. After all, I'm holding on to your little secret." She put on an indifferent act but nodded cooperatively, her voice coy. Classmate Lin Ran, I'll do everything you say." "Hey, can you stop saying things that make people imagine weird stuff?" Under the scrutiny of gossipy onlookers, I endured the entire class, feeling like I was walking on eggshells. For the first time, I truly understood the phrase, sitting on pins and needles. When the bell rang, Yi called me to go to the bathroom with him. Although I didn't feel the urge, I went along anyway. Every class seemed to have one of those handsome, socially dominant guys. Learning from the painful lessons of middle school, I felt that even if I couldn't be friends with such a core figure, I absolutely couldn't make an enemy of him. I used to be just a nobody follower by Yi's side, but lately he'd been seeking me out more and more frequently. "Lin Ran, help me copy this calligraphy homework." "Lin Ran, come to the store with me." Lin ran. My basketball team friends are on duty today, so you handle all this cleaning. I wanted to refuse, but amidst the chorus of, you guys are such good friends, I gradually lost myself. Maybe that was just how friendships worked? I didn't dare think too deeply, afraid of disappointment. Rubbing my sore wrist, I continued copying the tedious calligraphy for Yi. Suddenly, a shimmering soap bubble landed on my desk. Who knew where Su Qingyan had gotten another gadget? I leaned in to observe the swirling colors on the bubble's surface when she suddenly popped it with the tip of her pen, splashing water all over my face. Su Qingyan, what are you doing? I looked up, only to see her expression unusually serious. How old are you? Still playing these fake social games? Does it really make you happy to work for others? Called out like that, I wasn't angry, just silently laid my head on the desk, deciding to slack off. Aren't you basically the same as me? She was stunned for a moment, then mimicked me, laying her head down too. We lay facing each other, sideways. Though we said nothing, I felt an unprecedented sense of peace. It was as if, because she saw through my facade, everything around me felt real again. The sunset glow spilled onto her stunning profile. Her eyelashes were long, her eyes clear and bright like glass, breathtakingly beautiful. So beautiful, I thought absent-mindedly. She suddenly leaned in close. If I hadn't recoiled quickly, we would have kissed. What are you trying to do? I saw how cute you looked and couldn't help wanting to give you a kiss. Don't talk nonsense. The stray cat downstairs is also cute. Why don't you go kiss it? Flustered, I was momentarily speechless, awkwardly burying my face in the collar of my uniform. Right then, Yi came over wanting to switch seats with me. The next 2 periods were self-study. Teachers usually didn't notice if we swapped quietly. Lin ran. Can I switch seats with you for the next 2 classes? Though phrased as a question, he was already standing by the desk with his books. Sure. The blush on my face hadn't faded yet. I scrambled to pack my things, but Su Qingyan grabbed my wrist. Don't you need to ask your deskmate for permission? Yi remained gentle. I'm sorry, student Su. May I sit here? No. Her refusal was decisive, concise, and powerful. The classmates watching the drama were dumbfounded. I was surprised she could refuse so bluntly. Everyone else was shocked she dared to reject the class grass. An inexplicable joy surged within me, as if I'd won the lottery. My speed at doing homework increased significantly. After school, several boys, including Ye, dragged me to the newspaper stand, saying posters of some Korean girl group had arrived. I didn't know much about the entertainment industry and wasn't a fan, but I didn't want to seem out of place. It seemed that showing common interests was the key to truly fitting in. On the way home, I passed a fruit stall. The apples looked fresh. Using the 20 yuan I had extorted back, I bought a large bag of bright red apples. My sister Su loved apples the most. If I cut them into Pikachu shapes like an anime, she'd be even happier. My hands were full, making it hard to open the door, so I knocked and shouted, Mom, Su I'm back! Open up! The door opened, but it wasn't my mom. It was Su Qingyan. I was so startled that the apples nearly slipped from my grasp. What are you doing in my house? Su popped her head out from behind Su Qingyan, her eyes sparkling. Big sis came specifically to bring your exam paper home. Su Qingyan shook my disastrous monthly exam paper. The teacher said this needs a parent's signature. You forgot it in your desk. I'm really thanking you and your whole family for that. Once inside, the aroma of delicious food hit me. I sniffed the air. Sure enough, my favorite dish, braised prawns in oil, was waiting. Mom didn't seem affected by my terrible grades, greeting me cheerfully. Ran's back. Call your new friend to wash up and eat together. I was about to frown when that friend, Su Qingyan, covered my mouth with one hand, her voice sickly sweet. Thank you, auntie. I'm sorry for the trouble. Mom wiped her hands on her apron. Oh, it's no trouble. Your auntie has great confidence in her cooking skills. Su Qingyan smiled radiantly at my mom. Yeah, right. Such a little drama queen. I went to wash the apples, and she followed me like a shadow, grinning mischievously. Since I have nothing better to do, can I help you wash the apples? Stop grinning like an idiot. Strangely, she didn't retort this time. She actually rolled up her sleeves and came to help, making me look like the rude one. Just as I was about to apologize, she took my hand, wanting to wash the apples together. Seriously, how could this woman have zero shame? I quickly pulled my hand back and turned to focus on slicing the apples. Su Qingyan watched curiously as I carved the apples into Pikachu shapes, surprise lighting up her eyes. I raised an eyebrow smugly. Not bad, right? She smiled, shifting her gaze from the apple to me, looking directly into my eyes with sincerity. Beautiful. Her gaze was intense and straightforward. For a moment, I felt like she was complimenting me. My heart skipped a beat. How was she so good at flustering people? I hurriedly grabbed the fruit plate and fled, shoving an apple into my sister's mouth. Su Qingyan was quite perceptive, proactively helping Mom set the table and fetch bowls and chopsticks. The more Mom watched her, the more she liked her. Look at her, and then look at you two. Su her mouth stuffed with apple, blinked innocently. Finally seated at the table, the centerpiece was fish stewed with tofu. My sister's and my favorite. Mom, did your boss give you a bonus today? Why is dinner so fancy? Mom brought out Dad's hidden collection of red wine, smiling happily. No, it's just that you brought a classmate home today. Ever since that incident with Wang Nianian in middle school, you stopped bringing friends home. Your mom is just happy for you. In middle school, I indeed had a very close female friend named Wang Nianian. I always brought her home for meals. Our family circumstances were modest. My parents moved from the countryside to the small town to build a life, gradually gaining a foothold and buying a second-hand house. Since Dad was a renovation worker, our home was pieced together bit by bit, lacking any unified style. If someone didn't want their leftover tiles, we'd take them to pave a bit of floor. If someone threw away wallpaper, we'd take it home to stick on the walls. Even now, the tiles on our floor are all different patterns. Initially, they hadn't planned on having a second child, but since it happened, they couldn't bear to give it up. My parents showed no preference for sons over daughters. They gave my room to my sister, and I slept on a makeshift bed in the living room. Life was poor, but it was filled with happiness. Wang Nianian was the only friend who knew about our financial situation. Later, when Wang Nianian was bullied at school, I stepped forward to help her. And then, the target of their bullying shifted to me. They even made up derogatory rhymes about me, calling me a country bumpkin, a little mutt, and saying things like, he's so old, but still doesn't have his own room. Honestly, their treatment didn't hurt me that much. What truly hurt was that Wang Nianian became one of them, excluding me too. From that moment on, I stopped liking to make friends and never brought anyone home again. Oh, why bring that up? Mom said, placing a braised prawn on my plate. I always thought I hit it well, but feeling the good intentions of my parents, I comforted them. Hey, don't worry, I'm very popular in class. I have several friends. Under the table, I kicked Su Qingyan. Lin Ran is indeed very popular. I'm one of his friends. That's good, that's good. Mom, her face still flushed from cooking, relaxed upon hearing Su Qingyan's words, looking at us with relief. My eyes suddenly stung, and I buried my face in my bowl, shoveling rice in vigorously. After dinner, I walked Su Qingyan home. On the way, she kept gesturing up and down with her hands. What are you doing? Measuring the doorframe. That's your height. And there's your sister's. So what? Su Qingyan giggled. Reaching out to ruffle my hair, I swung at her hand and she darted away in a panic. I wasn't actually hitting you. Hey, where do you live? I'll walk you to the main road. Our house is in a very remote area. I'm afraid you won't find your way back. Cut the crap. This handsome guy here is always chivalrous, okay? Su Qingyan didn't reply, just smiled and pointed to the villa complex across the street. Ever since I could remember, I knew how unfair the world was. The injustice lay in the fact that although we breathed the same air under the same sky, some people were born in high-rise buildings, while I grew up in a house made of mud bricks. I looked at the villa district across the street, murmuring, it'd be a lie to say I'm not envious. It must be nice living there. Sensing my low mood, Su Qingyan reached out and rubbed my head, a sly grin on her face. The cat at my house can do backflips. Want to come see? Yeah, right. Don't try to trick me. This time, my attack didn't miss. I reached out and pinched her cheek hard. Have some decorum, okay? Got it? Su Qingyan rubbed her reddened cheek, humming. Fine, don't come then. Bye. She walked far away, her figure looking increasingly small in the night. Usually so confident and lively, why did her silhouette look so lonely now? Suddenly, she turned back, waving at me, her smile exceptionally bright. Pouring all her strength into her voice, she yelled, Lin Ran, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, immature brat. That's what I mumbled, but my heart inexplicably rippled with warmth, making my steps noticeably lighter. This was the first time I'd ever felt excited about going to school. Before sleeping, my mind was full of her see you tomorrow. I had to stop thinking about it, or I wouldn't be able to get up tomorrow. Early in the morning, I looked in the mirror with dark circles under my eyes and sighed. A beauty brings disaster, charmed by beauty, ruining a man. However, even until the first class bell rang, Su Qingyan's seat remained empty. I drifted through the whole day's classes in a daze. Did something happen to her? What if she was attacked by enemies last night? Did she transfer schools? Only at that moment did I realize with a jolt that I didn't even have Su Qingyan's contact information. The relationship between classmates creates an illusion. Because you see each other every day in class, you mistakenly believe you can find the other person anytime. It turns out, I hadn't established any real connection with anyone in the class, including Su Qingyan. Realizing this, I looked out the window at the fading sunset, filled with emotion. Until the last class ended, Su Qingyan's seat remained empty. Truly, misfortunes never come singly. The starry sky suddenly turned overcast. By the time I reacted, huge raindrops were already pelting down. Dad had forgotten his phone today and couldn't come pick me up. I called Su Mum, then waited bored in the classroom as students filed out one by one. Seeing the rain let up a bit, I was about to leave when a familiar figure appeared at the doorway. I was instantly stunned. Su Qingyan stood at the classroom door, beads of sweat on her forehead, holding 2 umbrellas. Lin Ran is still waiting for his wife, someone joked. The moment I saw her, an indescribable joy surged in my heart. Hey, school's been out for so long. Why did you run back to school? I was afraid you'd get wet. I came here specifically for you. I deliberately turned to look out the window, but the reflection in the glass betrayed the upward curve of my lips, exposing my true mood. Thanks, little comrade Su. But it's getting late. You should take a car home to be safe. But Su Qingyan skipped over to my desk, resting her chin on it, looking at me pitifully. No way, no way. I want to walk with handsome Lin. I don't want to take a car. I already gave the driver the day off. If Su Qingyan had a tail, it would probably be wagging to the heavens by now. So cute. I muttered under my breath, barely audible. That's so unfair. Su Qingyan definitely heard me. She pretended nothing was amiss, grinning like an old fox. Let's go, let's go. She shook my arm non-stop. Unable to withstand her soft pestering, I surrendered completely. Okay, whatever you say. We were almost home when we bumped into Sumum coming out to bring me an umbrella. Big sis Qingyan, big bro, you're finally back. You ungrateful thing. You called her first instead of me, and you've only known her a few days? Sumum grinned. Well, it's not the same. Big bro gets to see sis Qingyan every day. Besides, I came out specially in the pouring rain to pick you up. Alright. At least you have some conscience. Su Qingyan watched us siblings bicker, her eyes full of doting affection. She waved, a trace of imperceptible loneliness in her tone. Then I'll head back first. Coincidentally, Mom came out to throw out the trash and caught her. Xiaoyan is here? Head back where? Come in and eat dinner together. Your auntie cooked a lot of her specialty dishes today. Without further ado, Mom grabbed Su Qingyan's arm and pulled her inside, chattering non-stop. Quick, use your auntie's phone to call home and let them know you're eating here tonight. Surrounded by such enthusiasm, Su Qingyan smiled self-deprecatingly. Getting to freeload Auntie's cooking is truly blissful. Otherwise, I'd just be ordering takeout back home. Takeout all the time? No way. You're still growing, kid. Mom heaped a huge bowl of white rice for Su Qingyan. Su Qingyan took a big bite, mumbling indistinctly, "There's no choice. I usually live alone." The atmosphere at the table froze instantly, filled with pity for her independent living and curiosity about her background. Dad broke the silence first. "It's okay, Xiaoyan. If you want to improve your diet later, just come to Uncle and Auntie's place." Dad scratched the back of his neck, looking a bit awkward. His straightforward kindness was both sincere and tinged with fear of rejection. Su Qingyan wasn't polite at all. Taking a sip of pork rib soup, she replied with a smile, "Thanks, Uncle and Auntie, but I can't just freeload. How about I tutor Lin Ran in his studies from now on?" My parents were overjoyed, agreeing repeatedly. The more I thought about it, the more aggrieved I felt. That night, I secretly messaged Su Qingyan on WeChat. "Is the food not tasty? Or is the pork rib soup too salty? Why drag me into this? What kind of tutoring? Is it because you're dissatisfied with this handsome guy's performance and insist I repay you with my body?" She completely ignored me. That night, I had a bizarre, unspeakable dream. In it, I transformed into a great hero, rescuing the delicate and helpless Su Qingyan from bandits. I saw her lower her eyes, shyly burrowing into my arms, murmuring, "I belong to Brother Lin Ran now. You must take responsibility for me." Ding-ling-ling! The alarm clock blared, and I woke up with a start, covered in cold sweat. Thank God it was just a ridiculous dream. What a scare. But as soon as I pushed open the door, I saw Su Qingyan bustling around the living room in an apron. "Morning, Lin Ran. Go wash up and get ready to eat." Not bad, she's been working out. She acted so at home. It was as if this were her own house. Oh no, I forgot she'd be coming over for meals now. I had rushed out without a shirt on. I hurriedly got dressed and plunged into the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face several times, but the blush on my cheeks wouldn't fade. "Big bro, why is your face as red as a monkey's butt? Is it? Probably washed my face too hard." Su Qingyan held back her laughter, looking at me suspiciously, while I glared back at her. On the way to school, we ran into Yi Ji getting out of a taxi. He paused in surprise seeing us together, then greeted us with a smile. "What a coincidence. Did you guys meet on the way?" "Yeah, ran into each other on the road." "No, we came out of the house together." The air instantly fell silent. I quickly grabbed Yi Ji's arm and dragged him toward the classroom. She smiled playfully. "You two aren't involved in something, are you?" No, don't overthink it. I'm actually not that close with him." To prove this lack of closeness, once back at my seat, I used chalk to draw a distinct line down the middle of the desk. Su Qingyan raised an eyebrow, looking both wronged and angry. I guiltily looked away, not daring to meet her gaze. After class, Su Qingyan offered to analyze my disastrous math paper. She leaned so far away to avoid crossing the line that I had to crane my neck to see, and even then, it was blurry. At this rate, I'd developed strabismus before I learned anything. I resigned myself and laid my head on the desk, using my finger to slowly erase the chalk line bit by bit. Su Qingyan pressed her advantage, provocatively declaring, "Let's see if you dare draw a line between us again." I quickly bowed in apology. "I don't dare anymore, I don't dare. This small one knows his mistake." Seeing the corner of Su Qingyan's mouth lift, I climbed the ladder she provided. "Please, my lady, have mercy on this small one." Su Qingyan suddenly leaned close to my ear, whispering eerily, "That depends on your future performance." A profiteer. She was absolutely a thoroughbred profiteer. As if discovering something, she stared intently at my math paper. After a long while, she looked at me seriously. "Lin Ran, you're not messing with me, are you?" She pointed to the second-to-last major math problem. "I'm confused. Less than 5 people in the whole school got this right, and you got full marks. But for all those basic questions earlier, you left them blank. You listened to my sophistry. Listen to my explanation. Actually, I can't blindly accept those formulas. I can't convince myself to just apply ready-made things. Every time I encounter this type of question, I have to derive the formula from scratch. This habit started back in middle school. Because I suffered verbal abuse and social isolation from classmates, I became increasingly unconfident. Even formulas I knew by heart, I doubted constantly, and my grades plummeted. The math teacher even asserted that I was just stupid. From then on, I felt like I was under some spell, truly becoming bin stupid. I smiled bitterly, self-mockery hanging on my lips. I've never understood why those complicated formulas can be condensed into one short line. Why does the teacher always say you don't need to understand, just memorize it? 1 plus 2 and 2 plus 4 are fundamentally different, so why is the result the same? And probability in rock, paper, scissors, is the chance of winning really equal for the person who goes second as for the first? Does the order of time really have no effect on the outcome? For the first time, someone listened patiently to these trivial, useless worries of mine. Once the floodgates opened, I couldn't stop talking. Realizing I had rambled for too long, I panicked and covered my mouth. Someone who can't even figure out such small things. Will Su Qingyan also think I'm stupid? Sorry, I talk too much. Su Qingyan didn't show a shred of pity, which actually put me at ease. I never understood why those complicated formulas could be condensed into one short line, why the teacher insisted we didn't need to understand, just memorize. 1 plus 2 and 2 plus 4 were fundamentally different, so why was the result the same? And with rock, paper, scissors probability, was the winner's odds really equal for the second player compared to the first? Did the timing really have no effect on the outcome? For the first time, someone listened so patiently to these trivial, useless troubles of mine. Once the floodgates opened, I couldn't stop talking. Realizing I had rambled for too long, I panicked and covered my mouth. Will someone who can't even figure out such small things? Will Su Qingyan also think I'm stupid? Sorry, I talk too much. Su Qingyan reached out and flicked my forehead lightly. Please, deriving formulas on the spot is incredibly cool, okay? My eyes lit up instantly. Really? Of course. I stared straight at Su Qingyan, her deep eyes brimming with appreciation. She wasn't lying to me. Lin Ran, I think you're perfectly suited for scientific research. This drive to dig deep is rare. I looked at the barely passing paper, my mood sinking. But right now, I can't even finish the exam paper. She gently patted my head, comforting me softly. It's just a psychological barrier, not an intelligence issue. How about this? In the future, when doing problems, don't get hung up on why, and don't worry about whether it's right or wrong. Just finish answering the questions first. As for the things you don't understand, we can slowly figure them out together after class. Sunlight filtered through the window lattice, gently brushing Su Qingyan's hair tips, sprinkling into my eyes. The light was so brilliant, so warm. I closed my eyes and nodded. The abyss in my heart, previously cracked open by a lack of confidence, seemed to be filled with hope. Su Qingyan began accompanying me in tackling Olympiad-level math. Strangely, formulas I had memorized countless times but remained uncertain about became certain once I went over them with her. I still had endless questions of why, and Su Qingyan was always willing to listen to my ramblings. She would even solemnly look up information, accompanying me to investigate details that teachers considered meaningless. After the breakthrough, my enthusiasm for learning skyrocketed. Reciting text early in the morning, grinding through problems late at night. Several times, Mom had to urge me to hurry up and sleep. With the monthly exams approaching, I wanted a good ranking so I could secure a prime seat during selection. I didn't want to be separated from Su Qingyan. I didn't know if she harbored the same thoughts. It was a question I always wanted to ask, but was afraid it was just wishful thinking on my part. While doing eye exercises, I probed, Su Qingyan, the monthly exams are coming up soon. What about it? Well, after the exams, we have to pick seats again, right? Before I could finish, a student council member checking discipline stopped at the door. Focus on your exercises, no talking, or we'll deduct class points. I shut my mouth immediately. Amidst the melody of the eye exercises, I vaguely heard Su Qingyan snickering. On the eve of the monthly exams, Su Qingyan mysteriously slipped me a small note. She claimed it was a question-predicting treasure guide, forbidding me from opening it early, insisting it would only work if opened on exam day. I thought to myself, yeah, right, I believe you about as far as I can throw you. Last time, not a single question matched. Yet bewitched, I actually managed to wait until the day of the exam to unseal it. It contained no questions, just a line of elegant handwriting. Good luck on the monthly exam, my deskmate, Lin Ran. What a childish brat. Yet my mood suddenly lightened considerably. The exams went exceptionally smoothly. We had agreed to meet at the Children's Palace to check answers afterward, but Sumum suddenly called, saying she had an emergency and needed me to watch the roller skating rink for a bit. The roller skating rink belonged to my aunt. Usually, Sumum helped out to earn some pocket money. Actually, everyone in the family knew this was a form of covert assistance from my aunt, so we were all very grateful and worked diligently. The tickets were cheap and popular with students, though the location was rather remote. After messaging Su Qingyan, I rushed straight to the rink. With the exams over and a holiday starting, the shop was bustling. As soon as I arrived at the entrance, Sumum dashed out impatiently. Oh my dear brother, you're finally here. I have to step out for a bit. Call me if anything comes up. Before leaving, she made a phone gesture. I gave her back a light pat. Go ahead, your brother Lin is here. After the afternoon rush died down and fewer new customers arrived, I finally got a break. Elbows propped on the counter, I watched the boys teaching girls how to roller skate, practically shipping couples in my head, grinning so wide my mouth nearly reached my ears. Uncontrollably, I imagined calling Su Qingyan over to roller skate. Since you're here to play, drop the pure act. Don't know how? Sister will teach you. A coquettish voice interrupted, drawing everyone's attention. Following the sound, I saw our school's heartthrob, Guo Hao, surrounded by a group of delinquent girls. This was tricky. I could handle men, but I couldn't exactly lay hands on girls. Seeing the situation escalate, I hurried over to Guo Hao and tapped his shoulder. Your time's up. Let me walk you out. Guo Hao's face was pale with fear. A rich young master like him had never experienced such a scene. He nodded repeatedly. Suddenly, a hand pressed down on my shoulder. The woman who looked like the leader spoke up. Who are you? You think you can just take her away? I seriously removed her hand and smiled politely. I'm the manager of this establishment. Is that qualification enough? The thuggish-looking woman touched the ring on her hand, scrutinizing me with a disrespectful gaze. She pointed to her pants. Listen here, she bumped into me because she can't skate. Look, my pants are dirty. Bullshit, Guo Hao retorted, tears almost falling. He apologized tearfully. I'm sorry. He bent down to wipe her pants, but she dodged with a malicious grin. So, how would you like to resolve this? How about we waive the entrance fee for you and your friends today, as an apology? Would that be acceptable? The younger followers behind her lit up at the mention of free admission. Big sis Yaoji, maybe just let it go? Didn't you say the school flower of number 7 high was supposed to be sent to you? Legends say they're all beautiful and approachable. This level of pettiness is quite a contrast. More and more people gathered to watch, putting her in a tough spot. After pondering for a moment, she pulled a can of drink from her bag. I, Song Yaozi, am not an unreasonable person. If you can chug this drink in one go, we'll call it even. Acting on the principle of solving the problem quickly, I took the 800 milliliter drink and downed it in one gulp. Finally, I swallowed. But damn it, I never expected it would be milk. It might as well have been alcohol. My head spun immediately. Song Yaoji's gaze gained a trace of inquiry. She smiled, leaning in close as if to say something. Suddenly, someone yanked me backward from behind. I stumbled into a soft embrace, a familiar fragrance flooding my nostrils. I looked up and saw Su Qingyan's chin. Song Yaoji, do me a favor. Don't make this ugly. Song Yaoji saw it was Su Qingyan and clicked her tongue, smacking her lips. Your man. With that, her eyes scanned us both, leaving behind a baffling remark. Quite interesting. Su Qingyan tossed the milk I had been holding into the trash bin. Lin ran. How could you drink something given by just anyone? She roared at me in anger. I could barely stand steady, only able to wrap my arms around her waist and apologize. Sorry, Su Qingyan, but why do you have 2 heads, 2 mouths, and 4 eyes? Panicked, Su Qingyan supported me, intending to take me to the hospital. Bro, what's wrong? Su Mum rushed in from the entrance. She carefully inspected the empty can in the trash, then looked at Su Qingyan, speaking like a child who had made a mistake. Sis Qingyan, I forgot to tell you. My brother has been lactose intolerant lately. I woke up in an unfamiliar room, bolting upright in shock. Clang! My head smacked against the bedside table. Looking down, I sighed in relief. Good. I haven't gone to meet my great-grandmother yet. But where was this? You okay? Su Qingyan, wearing pink-fitted pajamas, ran over anxiously, not even bothering to put on shoes. Remembering what happened at the rink, I felt a lingering fear. No, I'm fine. Is this your house? Su Qingyan nodded, checking the back of my head. Where else would it be? The room was large and felt empty, like an unoccupied model home. Wandering around Su Qingyan's house, I couldn't help but marvel. Su Qingyan, why do you have so little stuff? Unlike my house, which isn't big to begin with, and the 4 of us are all pack rats. When my sister and I were little, Mom couldn't bear to throw away clothes we'd outgrown. She always stored them under the bed. Su Qingyan's house was so big, yet her presence was so scarce, so sparse that it felt like she could pick up and leave at any moment without leaving a trace. At this thought, my heart tightened. Su Qingyan took a bottle of water from the fridge and handed it to me, changing the subject. It's not like there's important furniture anyway, and adding stuff isn't really my— That day, Su Qingyan told me a cliché story. A poor couple started from scratch, enduring all the hardships of life. After achieving success, the man cheated and the woman remarried. Su Qingyan was the product of that failed marriage. Her childhood was spent amidst her parents' endless quarrels. A bit older, they each formed new families. Superficially, she had 3 homes, but in reality, she had none. Simply moving out to live alone was best for everyone. The girl wasn't fully grown yet, curling up on the sofa, a small ball. On her slender neck, faint veins were visible, like a little kitten that put on airs of ferocity but was actually just craving attention. I didn't know how to comfort this overly proud girl, who even couched her unwillingness to accept defeat in self-mockery. Fortunately, my stomach was reliable, growling loudly. Heh. I scratched my head sheepishly, inviting Su Qingyan to go home with me for dinner. Regarding the roller skating rink incident, Su Mum, terrified Mom and Dad would find out, volunteered to wash dishes for me for a month. I drove a hard bargain and demanded 3 months. Su Mum gritted her teeth and agreed. I thought that was the end of it, but I was blocked on my way home from school. It was clear Song Yaoji had dressed up specially. She wore a bright red dress and held a huge bouquet of red roses. I was terrified she'd say the line, "Man, you've successfully caught this sister's attention." I lowered my head, pretending not to see. But if I moved left, she moved left. If I moved right, she moved right. With no other choice, I spoke flatly. "Excuse me, classmate, please let me through." "Thanks." She stuffed the flowers into my arms, her tone domineering and seemingly affectionate. "Be my boyfriend." Song Yaoji's little followers were all egging her on from the sidelines. I didn't take the bouquet, letting it fall to the ground. "I don't want to. Give it to someone else." With that, I continued walking home, but she grabbed my wrist. "Say that again." Su Qingyan, who had stayed behind to deliver teaching materials, caught up just then. She shielded me behind her, her icy gaze meeting Song Yaoji's. "He already said no. Do you not understand human speech?" The atmosphere instantly turned explosive. I tugged at Su Qingyan's sleeve. Forget it, let's go." On the way back, Su Qingyan had a stern face, her anger undiminished. Jokes and attempts to cheer her up were useless. She didn't even notice when I stopped walking for a long time. "Hey," I jogged to catch up and held her hand. Only then did her icy eyes relax. "Su Qingyan, promise me you won't associate with those people anymore, okay?" Seeing through my thoughts, she seemed uncomfortable, wanting to evade the question. I gave her no chance, circling her and nagging in 360 degrees. "Okay, alright, can I?" Unable to withstand my nagging any longer, she finally lowered her head and smiled. "Okay." Gossip always spread like wildfire. Even the class grass, Yi Gi, quietly asked me if I was dating Song Yaoji. Occasionally on the road, some unknown delinquent girls would bow to me, making me extremely awkward, and Song Yaoji seemed genuinely incapable of understanding human speech. For some reason, she became more persistent, confessing in different ways every day, having different people send me food and gifts, thoroughly disrupting my peaceful life as a background character. Even many male students from other classes shot jealous looks at me from the classroom doorway, as if being liked by Song Yaoji was some great blessing. I really wanted to hand over this blessing to them with both hands. Listlessly, I laid my head on the desk, poking Su Qingyan with my pen. "Think of something quick, my good deskmate. I really can't hold on much longer." "Oh?" Su Qingyan bit hard into the chocolate she was holding, looking like she was tearing apart a mortal enemy. She mumbled indistinctly, "I saw you receiving those gifts looking quite pleased with yourself. Come on, big sis. Didn't you toss all those flowers and plushies into the trash? Didn't all the snacks and drinks end up in your stomach? How dare you say I was happy receiving them?" A light bulb went off in my head, and I instantly saw the truth. Leaning in with a wicked grin, I stared at Su Qingyan. "You wouldn't happen to be jealous, would you?" Well, who knew she could choke on a piece of chocolate? I hurriedly reached out to pat her back. "Slow down. Feel better?" Su Qingyan's ears turned bright red, unable to squeeze out a word for a long while. Finally, without saying anything, she turned and ran to the bathroom. Before we could discuss a foolproof plan, Song Yaoji's invitation to a date was delivered. Su Qingyan clutched the exquisite greeting card, her fingers pressing so hard they nearly left deep indentations on the back. The meeting place was the city's most high-end Western restaurant. I only had to wheedle a little, and Su Qingyan agreed with a haughty air. "Then this young lady will reluctantly accompany you." It was my first time entering such a fancy venue, so I was naturally nervous. "Su Qingyan, shouldn't we dress more formally?" Su Qingyan pouted, grumbling under her breath. "How much more formal were you planning to get?" That night, I rummaged through boxes at home, trying to find something presentable. After a long search, all I found was an old suit that Dad had worn to a buddy's wedding in middle school. I tried it on in front of the mirror, feeling the size was ridiculously large. "Ronran, what are you fussing about?" Mom wandered past me slowly, feather duster in hand. "I'm going to Shiyu Western restaurant for a date." Mom's eyes lit up instantly. She dashed into the bedroom and mysteriously produced a black garment bag, handing it to me. I took it with suspicion. Inside lay a brand new suit of excellent quality. It fit perfectly after I tried it on. Mom admired it from the side. "So handsome. This was the adult gift I specifically picked out for you, originally planning to give it to you during New Year's. Since you need it now, it's fine to wear it early, as long as my son is happy." "Mom, you're my savior. Love you to death. Memories of middle school isolation surfaced. Back then, no matter what I wore, it invited sarcasm. Young and ignorant, I had yelled at Mom, despising the clothes she bought as tacky, vowing never to wear them. Mom must have felt awful that day. I stepped forward and hugged her tightly. "Mom, I'm sorry. I love you." Mom didn't ask any unnecessary questions, just quietly slipped 500 yuan into my wallet as activity funds. She also urged Dad to take me to the barber. Dad personally supervised the barber, fixing me up with a neat hairstyle, worthy of being my son. No matter how you wear it, you exude a handsome vigor. Thankfully, there was still plenty of time. After tidying up, I looked like a different person, my brows carrying the heroic spirit of Dad in his youth. Gazing at my spirited self in the mirror, then at Dad, who was slightly overweight, the outline of fate seemed to become clear at that moment. Warm sunlight spilled onto our shoulders, and an unprecedented sense of happiness surged within me. The moment I pushed the door open, Su Qingyan in her magnificent evening gown came into view. The flowing skirt swayed like rosy clouds in the wind, adorned with sequins that shimmered with a dreamlike luster under the light. She raised her exquisite chin slightly, her slender neck radiating the elegance and nobility of a swan. Su Qingyan was also stunned when she saw me, her pupils dilating instantly. Then she turned her head away huffily. To see that, Song Yaoji, you actually dressed up so elaborately." I looked at the breathtakingly beautiful Su Qingyan, wondering inwardly, who's more elaborate here? I puffed out my chest and strode up to her, showing off. "Check it out, am I handsome or what?" Unexpectedly, she actually scrutinized me for a moment, evaluating with unusual firmness. "Very handsome." I had only meant to tease her, but now I was the embarrassed one. "But it's still missing just a tiny bit." She pretended to ponder deeply, chin in hand. "What's missing?" Just as I was wondering, she suddenly struck, messing up my hair with both hands. She laughed like a cunning little fox. "Much better now." With that, she lifted her light skirt and ran off several steps ahead, silver bells of laughter trailing behind her. We fooled around like this all the way, hurrying so we wouldn't be late. The moment we stepped into the restaurant, we looked at each other, the atmosphere awkward enough to make us want to crawl into a crack in the ground. Song Yaoji's group was dressed extremely casually. Although they had dressed up somewhat, compared to our formal attire, Su Qingyan and I looked like a pair of idiots. Song Yaoji's eyes flashed with surprise when she saw our outfits. Then she quickly turned away, covering her mouth to hide a laugh. As soon as we sat down, Song Yaoji greeted me. "Lin Ran." A handsome young man walked over with a smile, but my gaze remained fixed on Wang Nianian behind him. "Let me introduce you. This is my younger brother Ling Chen." After Song Yaoji finished the introductions, she nodded slightly towards Su Qingyan. "You should know him, right?" I caught the rest of their conversation in fragments. Basically, Ling Chen had developed a crush on Su Qingyan, and Song Yaoji, being the protective sister, was pestering me just to clear obstacles and create opportunities for her brother. I didn't quite understand Song Yaoji's logic and didn't care much anyway, because Wang Nianian had recognized me. She was the same as before, nervously twisting her fingers, sneaking peeks at me with a gaze full of obvious tension and restraint. Back then, it was precisely because she was being bullied that I stepped forward to help and we became friends. It was just that later, she became one of the bullies. Wang Nianian looked at me with a complex mix of emotions, surprise, guilt, and a trace of imperceptible envy. I still remembered how, to escape the junior high that was suffocating me, I had desperately memorized textbooks, guides, and test papers, barely scraping by to get into this key high school, just to bid farewell to the past and start a new life. Song Yaoji suggested giving Su Qingyan and Ling Chen a chance to be alone. Memories of the past flooded back combined with everything happening today. I felt tired and prepared to leave, but Su Qingyan held my arm. Wait for me. She frowned, clearly having much to say. Under that gaze, it was hard to refuse. I could only surrender. Okay, I'll wait for you. I leaned against the railing by the French windows, looking out at the bustling traffic below. Suddenly, a lollipop descended from above. For you. Song Yaoji held one sideways in her mouth, offering it to me indistinctly. Thanks. Didn't expect the big school belle to like this sort of thing. So what? It's strawberry flavored. Eat it without worry. Then mimicking my posture, she looked out the window. Lin ran. What is it? Nothing. Your name sounds quite nice. Thanks. By the way, you were super pathetic at the roller rink that day. Haha yeah. Lin ran, why don't we give it a try? I nearly fell off the railing. What did you say? Song Yaoji squinted her eyes, reaching out to pinch my cheek, but I dodged. She rubbed the back of her head, grinning roguishly. Just kidding. Why so stingy? Seeing Wang Nianian walking towards me, she raised an eyebrow. Yo, looking for you. She pulled out several lollipops of different flavors from her pocket and stuffed them into my hand, then turned and left with a casual air. Wang Nianian rubbed her clothes, walking towards me. She was nervous. Back then, she used to rub her clothes whenever she was anxious. Lin ran. You're here too. A knowing yet clumsy opening line. Actually, I was quite surprised she took the initiative to talk to me. I thought she'd spend her whole life pretending nothing had happened. Wang Nianian asked me many inconsequential questions, like if I had eaten, how I got here, if I had listened to Jay Chu's new song The Greatest Works, etc. After the simple pleasantries, she finally steeled herself, tentatively asking, Are you doing well at your new school? Her cautious tone was mixed with a certain expectation. I smiled. Pretty good. She patted her chest in relief, muttering softly, Good, good. But what was so good about it? I had lost my basic trust in people. Those cold words from the past were nails hammered into my heart. Even if the nails were pulled out, the wounds wouldn't disappear. Su Qingyan finished her talk and came out. I turned to follow, but Wang Yannian grabbed my sleeve. She looked at me pitifully. Can I still come over to your house to play? I knew this was a gesture of reconciliation and apology, but the memories of the past were truly too painful. Su Qingyan stood ahead, a beam of light shining on her, warm enough to make one want to cry. I'm sorry, Wang Nianian. I don't think I'm mature enough to calmly accept that kind of hurt. As for forgiveness, I'll leave that to God. Wang Nianian. I recited her full name evenly. Sensing something, she released my sleeve, disappointed. Let's just pretend we never knew each other. I won't continue living with resentment towards you. I'm going to run towards my own light now. I don't know what Su Qingyan said to Ling Chen, but when she came out, Ling Chen's eyes were red-rimmed. Song Yaoji saw this and immediately rushed over to question Su Qingyan, but Ling Chen stopped her in time. Leaving the restaurant, Ling Chen ran over and patted my shoulder, leaving behind a baffling remark. You're really happy, before walking away. I stood there dumbly for a long time, looking at Su Qingyan for help. She blinked at me inscrutably, leaving me even more confused. Monthly exam results were announced. With a perfect score in math, I had advanced by leaps and bounds, jumping to second place in the class. The teachers and classmates were shocked, except for Su Qingyan. Her face was full of the gratified smile of an old mother. Student life is really simple. As long as your grades are good, people like you. The attitudes of teachers and classmates towards me became noticeably warmer. However, sudden improvement also attracted jealousy. When class monitor Wang Siki came to ask me about a math problem, I was nervous and instinctively said, Actually, I don't really understand this problem either. The surrounding air froze instantly. Yigi said with a trace of sarcasm, How can you get it right if you don't understand? Could it be that? He didn't finish the sentence, but gave the whole class a look that said, You know. I looked helplessly at Su Qingyan. She nodded slightly, looking at me firmly. Just explain your thought process. Believe in yourself. I picked up a pen and circled keywords on the problem. Look, this keyword means we need to apply the formula the teacher taught last week, then substitute the example problem from page 45 of the textbook. Wang Siki smacked her forehead in sudden realization. So that's how it is. Why didn't I think of that? Thanks, classmate Lin Ran. I don't know why, but Yi Gi's hostility towards me grew stronger lately. Even when I carried his backpack for him like a lackey, he would occasionally say with sarcastic acidity, Our top student is willing to sacrifice precious study time to play with us. We sure have a lot of face. I couldn't stand this sarcasm anymore, so I gradually stopped participating in their activities and stopped accompanying them to the bathroom, even when I didn't need to go. But I still couldn't avoid his cold mockery. See? I told you University Scholar Lin is different from us now. It turns out, if someone is determined to target you, everything you do is wrong. I have to say, Yigi still had his own small faction. Many people in the small circles began to isolate me. Fortunately, as the grades got higher, most students disdained playing such childish games. Someone's looking for you outside. I went out and saw it was actually Guo Hao. He was the true school grass, top of the art stream, a charismatic god. His smile was refreshing as he handed me a letter and a physical set of those things in the Ming dynasty. Thanks for what happened at the roller rink the other day, handsome. As expected of a handsome guy, even his words were uplifting. Because of Guo Hao's appearance, the atmosphere in the class underwent a subtle change. Out of curiosity and admiration for the handsome guy, the classmates' attitude towards me shifted from autumn chill to spring breeze. After Guo Hao sought me out a few times, we became better acquainted, often studying together. I taught him math. He tutored me in Chinese and English. We had many common topics. We could discuss a single book for ages. We also secretly exchanged man-to-man secrets and helped other girls pass love letters to him. For the first time, I felt how wonderful it was to have a true best friend. I clearly became more cheerful and smiled more often. Back home, Su Mum was surprised and asked, Big bro, are you in love? You're glowing all day. I shook my head. No. Good friendship is more exhilarating than love. Sumum shivered, pretending to shake off goosebumps. I raised an eyebrow slightly. You don't understand the bond between men. Su Qingyan ate 3 bowls of rice. Don't forget there's a girl here. Noticing Su Qingyan, I realized she had recently blossomed. I made her stand shoulder to shoulder with my sister. My sister's height only reached her brow bone. That's not right. There hasn't been much change, has there? Su Qingyan pulled me near the doorframe to measure. Wow, they both secretly grew 4 centimeters behind my back. Relative motion is a weak point, huh? Su Qingyan teased gleefully. Lin Ran, you're not growing as fast as us, oh. What? I refused to believe it and went to measure myself, only to discover I had only grown 1 centimeter. Did mom secretly give you 2 extra food and not call me? I asked Su Qingyan and my sister furiously, but they just shrugged innocently. Then what's going on? How did you both grow so much and I only grew a little? Su Qingyan scrutinized me from head to toe. Then finally her gaze landed inadvertently on a certain indescribable area. She leaned close to my ear, whispering in a volume only we two could hear. Don't worry, you grew too. It's just that it grew somewhere else. With that, she ran off, covering her red ears to tutor Sumum with her homework. How could she say such a thing with a straight face? Guo Hao said he had gained weight recently and insisted on dragging me out for a run at noon. Let's go. Think of it as training for the fitness test. Hurry up, bro. It felt like it was going to rain that day. I really regretted my big mouth. We had only run half a lap on the track when the sky started drizzling. Seeing this, I quickly took off my jacket and we both huddled under it, sprinting towards the teaching building. We had just made it under the eaves when several groups of female students were gathered there for some reason. His jacket was wet, and mine was no exception. The two of us, drowned rats, guffawed for a long time. Suddenly, a girl whispered, "Look sis, Guo Hao and that guy both have abs." Hearing this, Guo Hao and I blushed instantly, wanting to flee. However, there were too many onlookers, mostly Guo Hao's fangirls. We just stood there dumbly. Right when we were at a loss, Su Qingyan's urgent voice rang out sharply. "Hurry up and go, the grade director is coming." Hearing this, the group of girls on the corridor scattered in a panic. Just as we were about to sneak away in the chaos, Su Qingyan grabbed me. I saw her coldly say with a stern face, "Stop running. The director isn't even here today." I lied to them. "You guys go borrow a hairdryer in the bathhouse and dry your hair and clothes. It's so cold today. What if you catch a cold? You don't even know how to take care of your bodies. Just silly laughing over there." With that, she left in a huff. After getting cleaned up and returning to the classroom, Su Qingyan was still angry. I secretly poked her with my pen, but she ignored me. Helpless, I could only launch Operation Flatter 1.0. My gentle, cute, kind, generous, and sensible deskmate. Could you really bear to ignore your poor deskmate? Su Qingyan's brow smoothed out a little. Deskmate, I suddenly realized you're prettier than Liu Yifei. The corner of Su Qingyan's mouth curved into a smile. Deskmate, how about I make your favorite strawberry pie by hand today? Su Qingyan turned her head, and I could tell by her back that she was very happy now. Deskmate, why are your ears so red? She coughed, a bit embarrassed. Consider yourself sensible. This young lady will reluctantly forgive you this once. Move over. I'm going out for some air. This air turned out great. I didn't catch a cold from the rain, but Su Qingyan did. The food mom cooked became much lighter. However, Su Qingyan was acting strange lately, always keeping a distance of over a meter from me, more standard than COVID test spacing. The 10th time I tried to talk to her and she dodged me like the plague. I finally got angry. "What are you doing?" She covered her mouth and nose, turning her body away. "Stay away. I don't want to infect you with my cold." "Oh ho, so that's it. But didn't you hear? If you pass a cold to the next person, the original person gets better faster." Su Qingyan heard this novel theory for the first time, greatly shaken, and said somewhat dejectedly, "Really? But when I was little and sick, I was always treated as a burden." "Ah, it's true. So don't stay so far away from me, okay?" Under my flawed logic that good friends should catch colds together, I, Guo Hao, and Sumum all fell victim, without exception. Thus, we simply asked for leave en masse, claiming to be resting at home, but actually going to Su Qingyan's house to hang out. We brought lots of snacks and gifts to Su Qingyan's house. "Wow, Sis Qingyan, your house is so big." I quickly gave my sister a kick. "Sorry about that. My sister lacks culture and can't speak properly." Before going to Su Qingyan's house, I specifically instructed my sister and Guo Hao to bring some gifts. Su Qingyan's house was truly too empty, lacking human warmth. My sister gave a scented candle. Guo Hao gave a set of exquisite cups. I gave my favorite Squirtle plushie, the same series as the one I slept with every night as a pillow. The empty room suddenly didn't feel so cold and cheerless because of the 4 of us. We were originally supposed to review together, but ended up watching a movie with the projector. At first, we wanted to watch the latest horror film Incantation, but hearing it had a depressing ending, Su Mum insisted on changing it to Alice in Wonderland. Later, finding the movie and snacks boring, Su Mum and Guo Hao started playing video games. Who knew the refined-looking Guo Hao was actually an esports teenager in private? I took out the Chinese workbook from my bag and used the essay grid on the back to play Gomoku, 5 in a row with Su Qingyan. Want me to let you win a round? This handsome guy is invincible across the land. It's still not too late to admit defeat. I didn't expect Su Qingyan's chess skills to be terrifyingly good. We often filled up the entire essay paper without determining a winner, so we got another sheet and another, until she pulled out my treasured Chinese exam paper. I snatched it protectively to my chest. "This one is off limits." Su Qingyan tilted her head in confusion. "Why not?" "No reason. No why." After a while I was distracted, Su Qingyan launched a sneak attack and took the paper. My face instantly turned crimson, because the essay topic on that paper was yearning, and my opening used poetry, cleverly weaving Su Qingyan's name into it. Su Ying Qingyan Ying Bi Lian, Shengxi Wu Jin Rao Jun Bian, whose graceful words reflect the green lotus. Endless longing encircled circles your domain. Afraid my little secret was discovered, I blushed fiercely, lowering my head, not daring to look at her. She smiled, handing the paper back to me. Here, take this one of mine. I didn't use yours to draw on. Pretending to glance casually at her essay, I saw her opening was also a poem. Lin Shen Hua Ji Wei Mantian, Yi Ying Yu Yu Rao Meng Jian. Deep in the woods, flowers bloom and the moon fills the sky. A lone shadow drifts leisurely around the dream's edge. Was she writing about me? I lost interest in the movie after that, only impressed by the Mad Hatter's nonsensical line. Why is a raven like a writing desk? After eating pizza, we lay sprawled on the carpet in various contorted positions. So bored, Su Mum moaned. She asked Su Qingyan, Sis Qingyan, does someone at your level still feel bored? Su Qingyan was silent for a while, replying somewhat dejectedly, yes, often. Noticing the loneliness in her tone, I said, boredom is very necessary. What a person does during their empty time determines how they differ fundamentally from others. Su Qingyan paused, turning to look at me. Her eyes sparkled, glittering with a moving light. I scratched my head, feeling shy, and explained, that's a quote from Anya. Guohao specifically compiled it for me as Chinese material. Guohao couldn't help but laugh. Lin Ran, I wanted you to reference and learn from it, not memorize it verbatim. I chuckled. No choice. My brain is best at rote memorization. Gatherings of youth always seem to be like this, somewhat boring, yet full of charm. In idle chat, Guohao suddenly asked, do you guys have any dreams for the future? He sighed self-deprecatingly, confessing he didn't really have anything specific he wanted to do, but due to his parents' high expectations, getting into Tsinghua or Peking University was a task he had to complete. Perhaps after graduation, he would just find a decent job as a matter of course and put down roots in the bustling city. I don't want to keep living under their control. Guohao shook his head helplessly. I don't seem to have any desire for the future, yet I have to maintain the image of being the best. Su Mum also joined in. I haven't thought that far ahead. My only wish right now is to have a cozy little nest of my own in the future. What about you? Su Qingyan didn't talk about herself first, but turned to look at me. Me? I want to devote myself to scientific research. I licked my lips, full of longing. After all, you said I'm quite suited for research. I hope to be in a lab in the future, transforming those dry mathematical formulas into things that can change lives. I want to make technological progress accessible to ordinary people like my dad, who work hard. No matter the field, I want to do something meaningful for this world. The room fell into a brief silence. After a moment, I asked nervously, you guys don't think I'm spouting big talk, do you? After all, pseudo-maturity seemed popular nowadays. Once people entered middle school, they seemed to start rejecting positive things, even mocking those who spoke up in class, treating positive energy as a burden to be avoided. Su Qingyan gazed at me intently, her tone exceptionally sincere. No, Lin Ran, I think you're really cool like this. Su Mum and Guohao also cast looks of trust and encouragement. Those honest words that once made me shy, afraid of being misunderstood, could finally be poured out so candidly and fervently in front of true best friends. Finally, the day to rearrange seats arrived. Because my rank was second, I could enter early to choose. Walking into the classroom, Su Qingyan was already sitting steadily in her original seat. When it was my turn to choose, I deliberately wandered around several other empty seats, noticing Su Qingyan's expression gradually darken. Only then did I accept my gains and obediently sit back down next to her. Hi, student Su Qingyan. Hello, let's get to know each other again. I'm Lin Ran. Entering the second year of high school, the academic burden grew heavier, and the school implemented a night self-study system. Walking home together every night, the lonely journey gained some comfort. The moonlight was occasionally exceptionally bright, the full disk seeming within reach, close enough to touch. Under the clear, cold moonlight, my shadow and hers stretched long and distinct. I liked walking with my hands in my pockets, deliberately staying half a step ahead of Su Qingyan. That way, with a slight tilt of my head, I could see our shadows overlapping on the ground, as if she were intimately linking arms with me. This illusory yet warm illusion was enough to support a teenager's most secret dream. When the moon hid its traces, the stars took over the night sky. But without the moon casting shadows, I inevitably lost some enthusiasm. Su Qingyan gently poked my back. Lin Ran, look how beautiful the starry sky is. Why the long face? What's so beautiful? These sparse few stars are nothing compared to the Milky Way in my grandpa's rural hometown. Then take me back to your hometown to see it after the college entrance examination. Okay, is this a promise between us? An indescribable joy surged within me. Su Qingyan smiled. She suddenly asked me a strange question. Tell me, does a fish's foot hurt standing in the sea? Do fish even have feet? She smiled, ruffling my hair. It's nothing. Go home quickly. That day was Su Qingyan's birthday. During class break, I told her, we need to go home early tonight. Mom made your favorite fried eggplant boxes. But in the first afternoon class, I was called out by the teacher. The teacher's face was grave, his mouth opening and closing, but I only registered his first sentence. Something happened to your dad. Payment for construction work had been delayed. My dad and his coworkers went to the group company to demand payment. The person in charge promised to settle the money if they completed a high-altitude work task. Then my dad fell from the scaffolding. In the ICU, the hospital had issued 2 critical condition notices. The hospital was noisy with continuously admitted patients covered in blood. My mom's wailing cries of despair, the mixed stench of disinfectant and blood, it all permeated the air, creating a nauseating atmosphere. When I rushed to the hospital, my dad had already been pushed into the operating room. I couldn't cry. My mind was blank, numbly accepting it all. Surgery was needed. Amputation was needed. A lot of money was needed. I couldn't imagine how my dad, a man who loved sports, would face life in the future if he lost a limb. The immediate priority was money. We took out all our savings and borrowed from every relative, but it still wasn't enough for the surgery fee. Bro, where are you going? Su's mom was holding our mother, who had fainted. Unknowingly, my sister was already strong enough to hold mom in her arms. I went to the real estate development group company that was defaulting on workers' wages. My dad really needed this money right now. Big bro, please, just let me in. My dad is still in the hospital waiting for this money to save his life. I shamelessly knelt before the reception desk, but the security guard still dragged me out of the office building. Helplessness and despair completely engulfed me. I couldn't even see the road ahead clearly. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice. Linran, go back first. I'll handle the compensation and project payments. I wiped away my tears and saw her walking out of the office building. Just as I was wondering if she had come early to help me seek justice, I heard a secretary-looking professional woman say, "Miss, it's time. The boss is waiting for you upstairs." Only then did I belatedly realize that the boss of the real estate group was also surnamed Su. The surgery went smoothly, but the whole family was still shrouded in grief. We all knew my dad was suffering the most, yet he was still comforting us. Although I lost a leg, at least my life was saved. Hearing words like that, my mom turned away and cried. My sister suddenly became very sensible. Whenever we had time after school, we took turns caring for my dad. Digesting hardship takes a very, very long time. Life after that passed quickly. After the accident, Su Qingyan never came to school again. Every time I collected her test papers, stacking them neatly on the desk until they were a foot high. Afraid it would block the students behind us from seeing the blackboard, I moved them back to her seat. I heard she was going abroad, skipping the college entrance examination, and would never come back to school. Perhaps that period was too painful. I don't remember many things clearly. All I recall is countless trips to the hospital and endless test papers. Finally, I could breathe a sigh of relief after the college entrance examination. Male classmates gathered together, excitedly discussing, confessing to the girls they liked, asking for the cute hair clips that often accompanied them, as if the item held the person's presence. Ah, if only Su Qingyan were here. I could ask her for it. What a beautiful dream. Goddess Su would never give it to you. At the graduation ceremony, Su Qingyan actually came. She had become much more beautiful and much thinner. But the moment I saw her, I thought of my dad lying in bed, smoking alone, and my heart throbbed with pain. After the graduation ceremony, I found a hair clip in my desk. I was so reluctant to part with it. There wasn't even a proper goodbye. Later, my family's life improved. The compensation was substantial, enough to support my sister and me through university, and cover my dad's rehabilitation costs. I don't know how much effort Su Qingyan put in behind the scenes. I know I shouldn't have taken my anger out on her, but I also didn't know how to face her. My sister studied medicine, focusing on the integration of mechanics and medicine. My dad now uses a mechanical leg he designed, and is functionally no different from a normal person. My mom is still researching mathematics, though her recent projects are related to smart agriculture, applying mathematical models to farming, already helping several villages achieve poverty alleviation. My parents returned to the village because they were getting older. The family has nurtured two talents useful to society, and they are immensely proud. Except for one thing, they always hesitate to bring up how I remain single to this day, never having been in a relationship. Whenever someone of the opposite sex confesses to me or expresses affection, I always throw out that strange question that has troubled me for so long. Tell me, does a fish's foot hurt standing in the sea? I have never heard an answer that truly touches my heartstrings. Perhaps it's because even I don't know what the standard answer is supposed to be. Mom occasionally drops hints in front of me, seemingly casual. I wonder what Qingyan is doing now. Yes, where in the world is she busy at this moment? Towards the end of the month, I specifically requested 2 days of leave from the Research Institute to attend my good buddy Guo Hao's grand wedding. At the wedding, the MC asked the guests deeply, "What did you leave behind in your youth?" Thinking carefully, my youth was actually very simple. Just an ordinary-looking but memory-laden hair clip, a Chinese exam paper covered in Gomoku grids, a starry sky promise that remains unfulfilled to this day, and that deep hug that never quite happened. At the wedding banquet, I unexpectedly reunited with Wang Nianian. Now, she had become the mother of a little girl. She had shed her former shyness and timidity, transforming into a gentle, resilient woman her daughter could rely on. Holding her child's hand, she smiled and introduced her to me. Nuanuan, quickly call him uncle. He was mommy's best friend in school. Wang Nianian gently tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, looking at me with clear, sincere eyes. Linran, thank you for the kindness back in middle school. And I'm really sorry. I smiled in acceptance, my heart having long let go of all the resentment and grievances. I calmly accepted this apology spanning many years. In countless late nights, I had even sincerely thanked her. If it weren't for experiencing those twists and turns and isolation back then, I probably wouldn't have developed the obsession to get into a key high school. And if I hadn't gone there, I probably never would have met Su Qingyan in this lifetime. Su Qingyan, look, everything happens for a reason. So can you stop avoiding me? Actually, I never truly resented you. I was just a bit at a loss when faced with that sudden misfortune. Although I wasn't sure exactly where Su Qingyan was right now, every year on my birthday, I received an exquisite Pokemon series plush toy. But this year alone, that long-awaited gift was late. Did something happen to her over there? Or had she finally decided to completely erase me from her memory? Walking on the bustling street, I seemed somewhat distracted. My foot missed a step, and my body lunged forward. The expected pain didn't come. Instead, someone firmly caught me around the waist. Looking up, I saw a clumsy yet adorable Pikachu mascot, the very anime character I loved most. In that instant, my eyes stung with acid. With trembling hands, I slowly lifted the heavy mascot head. Finally, I saw that long-missed figure again. Su Qingyan's eyes were red-rimmed as she gazed at me, her smile as bright as the summer afternoon sun all those years ago. I took a deep breath breath, suppressing the turmoil in my heart, and asked in a trembling voice, "Qingyan, tell me, does a fish's foot hurt standing in the sea?" She threw herself into my arms, burying her face in my chest, whispering softly, "The answer is I love crows. Why is a raven like a writing desk? Because I am hopelessly in love with you. Does a fish's foot hurt standing in the sea? The final answer has always been I love you." All that nonsense, all that saying one thing but meaning another, even all that clumsy inarticulateness, it all boiled down to saying those 3 words for me. I love you.